Hello, everyone, and welcome to NOG Energy University Level 2 online class. My name is Kristen, and I will be your Level 2 instructor for today. Before we dive into today's content, I just want to give you a brief introduction about me. So I came to learn NLG back in August 2021. And after a few months of learning and practicing NLG consistently, I volunteered to become one of the translator for Mr. Lee. And of course, after many trips, helping him translating and assisting him, I am honored to become the instructor and teach level 1 and level 2. Today, I will be teaching level 2. The duration for today's class will be about an hour and 30 minutes. So I hope that you will get a lot of good information, especially when it comes to the technique of practicing NOG. And after you practice, I hope that you will receive many and many benefits for you and, of course, for your family. And before we dive into today's content, I invite you to receive this healing transmission because I'm a level 5 and I provide this healing transmission so anyone can be able to receive it regards any levels. So that way you can be energetic, you can feel refreshed, and you can get ready to learn for the next hour. And you don't have to do anything. Just look at my forehead and visualize receiving the energy from my forehead to your body, and that's it. The rest, I will take care of that. So make sure that you are ready to receive this healing transmission, healing energy. Just find a comfortable spot. Try to stay away from the fan or the AC so that way you can feel the warmness going through your body. And the healing transmission will be for 3 minutes and 30 seconds. Now let's get ready to receive this energy. All right, so that was the healing transmission. This is not the activation, okay? This is just the healing transmission to help you feel energetic and feel a little bit better so that way you can learn for the next hour or so. And just wanted to remind you that we will have no break in between. So we'll go for the full 1 hour and 30 minutes. So make sure that you grab some water, coffee, tea, and try to stay hydrated during class. And for today, you will receive the activation for level 2. So make sure that you pay attention and stay in class until the end so that way you can receive the full activation. You don't miss any activation. And we can also, at the end of the class, we will have a practice sessions. We're all going to do it together um, to practice level 2 before I send you off and practice the level 2 formula. Now let's get started. Okay, so before we start class, I just want to go over the class rules. Um, So the number one is please arrange to attend the course on time to receive the activation fully. You know this every time, whether you attend level 1, level 2, or level 3. We also advise you to attend class early, and being on time also show respect for the instructor and everyone in class as well. And it will help avoid network congestion because let's say too many people decide to join at the same time. Um, and sometimes we might have a crash, a network crash. So make sure that you plan accordingly and attend class on time. Number two is choose your study space. So make sure you set up that study space in a very quiet place away from distractions if you can. It's only 1 hour and 30 minutes of class. So choose your space wisely so that way you can receive the activation and you can fully participate in the practice session. Copyright NLG content without our permission is prohibited, so please do not record or distribute our video lecture online without our consent. All of our online courses will be recorded for tracking purposes, and we will post it on our YouTube channel so that way you can watch it later. And please keep in mind that the activation only works during lifetime. So even after you watch it after class, the activation won't be effective. So make sure that you remember that. If you need to like a refresh memory or something like that, you can watch the video, but you cannot watch the video again to receive the activation. It doesn't work like that. And you can attend our course via phone, laptop, iPad, whatever you feel comfortable. Make sure that you check your device before attending our online class, like internet connection, battery usage, audio quality, pretty simple stuff and pretty straightforward. And we will have time for participants to ask questions about the course, whether you choose to ask questions during class or after class. We encourage you to ask questions if you have any questions, and please save your questions until the end because some of the information I might share later. So yeah, and let's move on to the next one. And a little bit about the original energy source. NLG stands for Năng Lượng Gốc in Vietnamese. Method is provided by NLG Energy Source University and to support anyone seeking assistance from NLG. NLG online courses are completely free unless advised otherwise. And NLG technique and information is for educational purposes only. And please remember that it cannot be substituted for advice or care of medical professionals. If you are sick, you still have to receive the treatment and you still have to follow the doctor's order. And it does not replace your doctor diagnosis or medical treatment. And we recommend that every participant who attend class especially level 1 and level 2. When you're new to NLG, please consult with your doctor before undertaking any alternative health improving methods. And we will not accept any liability or warranty or not be responsible for any individual if you do not see any improvement. So far, a lot of people practice NLG method receive improvements dramatically. But not everyone are the same. So if let's say you know your condition better than anybody else, so before you decide to practice this method, make sure that you understand your condition, you understand that you have to follow a doctor's order, you have to follow your treatment and stuff like that. And NOG participants are responsible for their current state of health and will need to monitor their progress. One of the things that we advise you to do is to monitor your health state so that way you know your health state before, during, and after practicing NOG method. It's a great way to track your health state so that way you can share with other participants because you're confident that, oh, I practice the energy method and I receive great results, and here are the proof. And energy participants need to have self-awareness. You will see this message and you will hear this message over and over again. We advise you to have self-awareness when you practice, and we advise you to follow instructions. Always follow instructions and formulas. We understand that some formulas might be lengthy, but we put it there for a reason, and we advise you to follow those instructions in order for you to achieve desired outcomes. If you don't follow instructions, if you don't follow the formulas, then there's no reason why you're here. So we just want to put it out there. And NOG is not a religion, neither it is a meeting ground for ritual activities. We don't participate in anything like that. We do not advise you to give up or join any religion or political party. And we do not participate in any religion or political institution of any country. We're here to basically show you the technique of how to practice the method correctly, consistently, and receive the benefits. But we are not here to advise you to go against your belief. This is not who we are. So we just want to make sure that you are clear of this message, because nowadays there are a lot of people that have different opinion before they even come to learn NLD method. So if you actually watch this live stream, you will know, and if you hear our disclaimer, you will know that we are not a religion, or we do not involve in any political party. And so if you attended level 1 class last week, taught by Isabella, you probably will have an idea of the 3 logos that I'm sharing here, because we go over these 3 logos during level 1 class. And to advance to level 2 and so forth, we're talking about level 2, level 3, and 4 and 5. You have to understand the technique, and you have to know how to practice. And part of understanding the technique is to understand the meaning of each logo. So I will not go over this again, but I encourage you to take a look at these logos and to actually listen to the explanation to understand what each logo means and why we have it the way it is right now. And if you're not sure, then I encourage you to go back and watch those videos again, to understand the meaning of each logo. And so if you remember what you've learned in level 1, we often share about the 3 objectives of energy source. And you will hear that over and over again throughout your learning journey, your energy learning journey. The goals in which energy source method is here is to help resolve wars and conflicts. And the second one is poverty and hunger. And the third one is diseases and sickness. Even though you see that these are 3 separate issues, and you might think that, oh, it has nothing to do with me. But believe it or not, they influence each other in a very negative way. So if you think about it, if we go to wars, if we have social conflicts, that would lead to poverty and hunger, because the people are the one that suffer. And why is that? Because we putting our resources, we're putting our mind, our resource into fighting, into the wars and into those conflicts. And so when we do that, we have very limited access to those resources. And I'm talking about food, I'm talking about medicines, for example. And when we have very limited access to food and resources, guess what happened? Our body will be vulnerable to diseases and sickness. And our immune system will also be weaker because we don't have enough food to support our body support to provide nutrition for our body. So that is why it's important for you to see these three issues and acknowledge why they are so important to NOD. And let's say later, when you decide to enter higher levels of NOD, and I'm talking about starting from level 3, you will start to see why we're showing these three issues right at the beginning. Right when you've learned level 1, we show these three issues, and we show why NOD can be able to help resolve these three problems here. And these three issues are also the three ultimate goals of learning NOD method, because part of learning NOD method is we want you to know that we are here to help you to succeed. And we want you to understand that together, it's the only way that we can work together to help you improve your health first, to help build a better community for our families. And then after that, we can extend that help to our community, to our country and the next generations and so forth. So it is extremely important that we work together. If we think, if we don't want to work together, then the change that we make might be very minimal. So I just want you to understand that it's super important to do that. And if you have been paying attention to what's going on around you, you see all of the things that are happening. You're talking about natural disasters, you're talking about wars, you're talking about social conflicts. You know that we have been facing these issues, not just recently, but for the last decades. And even though we'll continue to advance with new technology and new knowledge and new improvements, we don't see a lot of benefits, on the people. That is still very limited. People are still facing hunger. People are still in poverty. People are still going through sickness, pain. And there are many people going through these problems every day. We just don't see it because it's not displayed on the news very often. So we don't see those problems every day. But we're not here to debate and blame each other for these issues. But we are here to acknowledge that these issues happened, and we are just, simply learn how to resolve those issues peacefully and wisely. And of course, some might say that these issues have nothing to do with me. Why do I need to care about this, right? But if you look at these problems one by one from your personal perspective, when you see your loved one get sick, when you see your loved one going through sadness or pain, depressions, regardless of their success or failure, regardless of their financial status, it hurts us. We don't want to see our family members getting hurt. We don't want to see our loved ones going through the pain when we know that there's something that we might be able to do to help them. And when we come to look at these issues from that personal perspective, we're taking the first step towards trying to understand how we can get the key to connect with this energy and NOD method to help resolve those issues and to start building a better community for ourselves and for our family. Now, I said this is the first step because if you ignore this step, and let's say you go straight to the technique, a lot of people said, okay, practicing NOD method, you do it for 5 minutes and 30 seconds, just the technique really quick. But if you ignore the step and just go straight to that technique, it's like running before you learn how to walk. And if you think that it might help you achieve results, then you might be disappointed because the improvements that you see might be very limited. In order to practice the technique successfully, you have to understand the deeper meaning behind that. Why we have these principles here and why we have this technique here, why the connection, the relationship between those two, so that way you can, succeed in learning NOD method. And, if you remember from level 1, we often talk a lot about morality and 5 forms of love. And Throughout your learning journey, you will hear Mr. Lee repeat this over and over again. One hand you hold morality, and one hand you hold 5 forms of love. You hold tightly in your palm. And despite the fact that some of us might have different opinions, you and I might have different opinions, different beliefs, doesn't matter. But in NLG method, we simply understand morality is the principle that contains different moral ethics to enable humankind to distinguish the differences between right or wrong. Now, due to social norms, due to culture differences, or possibly restrictions, pressure from the environment that we're living in, we understand that we tend to misunderstand the actual meaning of morality. And same thing with love. We tend to forget the true meaning of love. And we have used love as an excuse to justify our actions way too many times, way too much. What do I mean by that? We say, oh, I love my children. Okay, so they need to do what I want. I love him, so he needs to do what I want. I treat him or her well, so they have to listen to me. You know, it's like we do these kind of things and we do it out of love. That is a different kind of love. That is not the love that we supported here with an energy method. When you love somebody selfishly, without any concerns for others' well-being, you're basically allowing yourself to lose direction. And when you lose direction, you are lost. And when you are lost, you can't be able to differentiate between right and wrong. It's like you keep saying that, oh, I have morality, I have love, but it is only in theory. So in NLG method, we put morality and 5 forms of love as like a whole package because we believe that it's supporting each other in so many ways. And you need both to form the soothing frequency that we call +1 -1. And that +1 -1, it's how you could be able to connect with the energy from outer space. It is a very first foundation of your practice. You must get the frequency +1 -1. And without this key, so the key is morality, 5 forms of love to form the +1 -1 to connect with the energy. Without this key, it's like a house without a strong foundation. And imagine the house without a strong foundation, it will not last very long. It will last temporarily. So throughout level 1, when you after you practice level 1 and you notice improvements and you decide to attend higher levels, level 2, level 3, level 4, you will hear Mr. Lee repeat these 2 principles over and over again. One hand, you firmly hold true morality and make sure that you express it through your daily behavior as well, not just saying it in theory. What do I mean by that? When you interact with people, what you say, how you interact, your behavior matters. And the other hand, you hold firmly to the 5 forms of love. So the moment that we think that we're about to say something that could hurt others, that could offend others, we might need to take a step back and remember that if we do that, we might hurt other people's feelings. Is it worth it that we do that? And when we make mistakes, we think that, oh, I can hide my mistakes. Nobody would know. That's true. Nobody would know that you make mistakes. However, you can hide it from yourself. So make sure that before you say every word, make sure and before you make every decision, think carefully and consciously to prevent unfortunate events. And another part of learning NOD method is, I said it earlier, is to create this appropriate frequency, the +1 -1 frequency, to help connect with the energy from outer space. And we know that we need morality and 5 forms of love. And we all agree that we need to love correctly and truthfully. And it cannot be a selfish love in order for us to form this +1 - 1 frequency, in order to connect with the energy. And this +1 - 1 frequency is like a Wi-Fi signal. Imagine your phone. It doesn't matter how modern, how new your phone is, without Wi-Fi, without connection, you won't be able to do anything. The things that you can do is very limited. So make sure that you keep that in mind, because this is extremely important, and it will start to make sense when you're in higher level and you keep hearing Mr. Lee using this metaphor throughout his class. And learning NLD and advancing to the next level, it's a way to upgrade yourself with this energy frequency, so that your brain can be able to process larger and better information. It's like when we think of happy thoughts, when we're happy with ourselves, our body will naturally feel happy immediately. We start to see everything is so beautiful. And in contrast, when we face a sad situation, when we worry about something, when we keep talking about the things that are bothering us, over time, if we keep letting this happen, we will start to feel negative. We will start to think negative. We will automatically become negative without even trying. It will be a part of us. And we don't want that. We don't want the negative things to become a part of us. So for example, if you feel satisfied about something, if you're truly happy about yourself, it doesn't matter where you live, you will try to see the best of it. You will be happy with where you live, with who you are. But if you're not happy because of whatever reason, it doesn't matter where you live, you will feel there's something that is missing, something that you keep looking for, but you don't know what. And some people, they might feel hopeless. And that is not how you can achieve this +1 - 1 frequency. The very first thing that we often share with people is, to achieve the +1 - 1 frequency, we must first learn to accept our mistakes. We are human beings. We make mistakes, whether we do it intentionally or unintentionally. But I remember Mr. Lee said, if we recognize our mistake and we acknowledge, we do something about it, we can be able to avoid it. But if we know we make the mistakes, but we don't do anything to avoid it, we don't do anything to improve it, we're not willing to change ourselves, then we won't be able to get this +1 - 1 frequency, because we keep going in circle. We struggling to learn the mistake. We struggling to learn what we can do to get out of it. So I do believe, and this is from a personal experience, I do believe that each of us here have a chance to improve ourselves, to avoid the mistakes. But it's up to you to decide if you want to do it, because nobody can force you. I can sit here and I can tell you, oh, you need to accept your mistake, you need to forgive yourself, you need to do this, you need to do that. You already know that. But it is up to you to decide if you want to take the first step towards, doing it. So when you learn the NOD method, part of it is to take a good look at yourself, and truly look at yourself and see what you can do to help yourself. Do you want to help yourself? Do you love yourself? And if we keep, spending time dissecting what we did wrong, what others did wrong, we're getting further and further from this +1 - 1 frequency. So that's why you see it here. We have categorized the 5 forms of love in order. You must first love yourself. then after you love yourself, after you're happy with yourself, that is when you're ready to extend this love to your family, to your country, and so forth. If you don't love yourself, if you're not happy with yourself, then how can you be happy with your family? And another thing is learning NLG method. When you practice NLG method consistently, you will start to feel how to embrace yourself. You will learn to embrace yourself and embrace the love and friendliness towards others. And when you're in higher level class, you will be surrounding, with the people, same mind, same love for themselves. And we are here to learn to change ourselves for the better. Forgive others for their mistakes. Be forgiving, be generous and giving. And if you are suffering something right now or carrying a burden, see if you can let it go. When you learn to let this go, and when you learn to forgive others, you will automatically feel lighter, more relief. And in everyday life, we face numerous of life events. I get it. We go to work, we go to school, we have different problems. And some might be good, some might not be so good. But if you're willing to change yourself for the better, it doesn't matter what circumstances that you are in. You're in control of your emotion. You're in control of your mind. You're in control of your heart. If you maintain that balance under any circumstances, that is when you have successfully achieved the +1 - 1. So that is why we just play this slide again, to show you how important it is to have self-love. And then as you go to higher levels, you will see, okay, how we can extend this love to your family, to your country, to humankind, and for all living things. That love will automatically get bigger, but it needs to start with you first. And what you're seeing here is the image of the universe. And the reason why I'm showing this image is to show you that there are so much more out there that we don't know. We are just a small particle in this universe. And we need to accept that. There's so many things that even scientists, they don't know. And in NLG, when you advance to a higher level, you will receive the activation that matches the frequency of that level. It's like Mr. Lee often used upgrading iPhone Wi-Fi metaphor. Over time, you understand that our network has been upgrading from 2G to 3G to 4G to 5G and so forth. And for us humans here, our body, it's like, a minimized universe. There are so many things that we don't know about our body, inside our body. And it's like a universe here. It contains a perfect network of connection, like stem cells, from the brain to the spinal cord, other cells, DNA. It contains all those things, but we don't understand about that just yet. There's still so much more that we need to learn. Because of it, because time changed, technology changed, everything get advanced, we also need to learn to adapt with this new technology, with this new change, in order for us to catch up. And with the new level of frequency, that we receive today, if we don't keep upgrading ourselves when we have the opportunity, then we might be behind. But first, we need to make sure that we practice the technique, for level 1 successfully. We need to make sure that we're understand the meaning before we advance to the next level. It's like using a computer. Let's say you want to do so much more with your computer, like writing, sending emails, browsing the webs, and all of that stuff. If we have to learn step by step. If we don't learn it step by step, we wouldn't know how to operate the computer. And if we understand our computer and the way our computer work, we need internet, because without internet, we won't be able to send emails. And with stuff like internet, network, it helps us deliver the information way quicker. Now, let's say we refuse to learn how to do this, we won't be able to achieve what we want. We might be behind. And when everybody else is using advanced technology, we are here struggling on how to figure out what to do this and what to do that. And we couldn't be able to connect with our loved ones. So it's important that I share with you this. And that's the reason why you see in NLG method, we have divided the class from level to level, from level 1 to level 2 to level 3, to show you how important it is to get advanced to the next level, to get upgrade with your energy frequency. Let's go to the next slide. Okay. So when your stem cells, earlier I said your body, it's like a minimized universe. It contains, like a network of different things like stem cells, brain cells, the spinal cord, vein, DNA, all of that stuff. When your stem cells receive sufficient energy, then their function will be fully developed, because your stem cells have the capability to receive the information well. When you practice NLG method, fully concentrate in conjunction with love and morality, and connect with the energy using the +1 -1 frequency, this energy will flow into your body. And it will be basically like the energy of love going through each parts of your body, stimulating your stem cells activities. When your brain and your cells are fully receiving this loving energy, they will support the healing of the body quicker. And if you see it here, you see the structures of the neural system, and you see the structures of the galaxy and the universe. You see they're all complicated. They all have some similarities. And after you connect with the energy successfully, in order to maintain this energy, you have to maintain your practice daily and consistently over time. Keep receiving this love energy will generate a form of nurturing energy, which really beneficial for your body and mind. And in the beginning, you hear me repeatedly talk about love, morality. Love is the beginning of life. It is structure for all successes life. Our life begins with feelings. When the person is happy, they attract all the positive things. When a person feels satisfied, feel excited, their brain basically sending this, happiness to every cells in our body. Wherever you go, whatever you do, you feel this happiness, you feel this loving vibe. So that's why it's important to understand how to connect with this energy, understand how to maintain this frequency, because when you maintain this frequency, you will be able to connect with this energy. And once you make this frequency a part of your life, we're talking about maintain the plus one minus one every day under any circumstances, whether somebody makes you mad, somebody makes you angry, somebody makes you sad, your emotion remain balanced. You will be able to connect with this energy. Now, I know it's difficult. It's easier to say than done. It might be difficult to do it, but a lot of people have done it. If you listen to our daily live streams before, you hear people with testimonies about how energy has been helping them, to improve their emotions, to improve their health, physically and mentally. Because they try to make that plus one minus one frequency a part of them. They try to maintain this connection by practice daily, practice consistently, follow instruction, follow the formula. And that is the reason why they achieve many, many benefits. And a lot of people, of course, they're still working on it. They are still practicing, so they might not receive the benefits, complete benefits, but they notice the differences when they practice energy method. They notice that, oh, I feel that, under circumstances, when people make me mad, I don't get angry quickly anymore. Somehow I can be able to control my emotion and stuff like that. And if you're new to NOD and you never watch those testimonies, I would recommend you to go online to our YouTube channel and actually watch those videos to hear how people share their opinion, their experience, their results. And of course, a lot of them have really severe conditions. But when they practice NOD, they finally understand a way to love themselves correctly. They finally find a way to do that. And don't wait until you're sick to do it. You should start doing it when you're healthy. Because a lot of young people like me, we tend to think that, oh, we're so healthy, we're so, we're so working, studying just fine. Maybe we don't need it yet. But Mr. Lee always encouraged everyone, doesn't matter, how old you are, whether you're young or you're, in the older range. Practice this energy, practice this technique, this method, so you can receive the energy and help boosting your immune system. It is the first step that you take towards of loving yourself. And another thing that I want to share is that if you remember in level 1 that we talked about, when you sad, when you think negative thoughts, when you think of something bad might happen, your brain knows that, your brain recognizes that, and it will send a signal throughout your body, and it might change your heart rate. And it might make you feel anxious, feel nervous, sweaty hand, all kind of things. When we learn to practice energy method, we need to learn to practice to control that, to balance our emotion. Let's say you're in a bad situation. A lot of times before I learn NLD, I get angry really quickly. I tend to overreacting many times. And after that, after I said things that hurt other people, after I have done things that hurt other people's feelings, I looked at myself and I said, what is the point? Is it worth it? Is it worth it that you hurt other people and you do things that hurt their feelings just because you were angry in that moment? And the thing is, during that time when you're angry, you don't see that. You don't see that when you let your emotions get the best of you. You just go with the flow. You just get angry. You just said things that hurt your loved ones, your mom, your wife, and all of that stuff. It is hard to control. I understand. But once you practice the NLD method correctly and consistently, and I'm talking about every day, take at least some time out of your busy schedule to practice. When you do that consistently, then you will start to feel the differences. A lot of people have shared with me that, oh, my son has been making me angry, so I stopped practicing. But during those times when your body feel drained, feel angry because of something that is happening to you, that is when your body needs to recharge the most. That is when you need to take a step back and let yourself know that I need to recharge. I need to practice. I need to take a couple minutes to practice and clear my mind, just focusing on receiving the energy. When you do that, when you get into the habit of doing that, it will become a part of you. You will automatically do that, and you don't need a reminder anymore. And the reason why I keep saying this over and over again is because this is important. This is the technique that you need to master. In level 1 and level 2, we focus on teaching you the correct technique. And if you remember, Mr. Lee said before, we are humans. We get mad sometimes, or most of the time. If people do wrong things, we get angry. Because it doesn't go with the way we plan. It doesn't go with the way we want. We get angry. I get that. We react to it. But let's try this. If you know you're getting mad, do it for a couple minutes. Let yourself be mad for a couple minutes. But then only allow yourself to be mad for those couple minutes. And then after that, try to get out of it. Try to think positive things. If we truly love our body, if we truly love our stem cells, we can say something like, okay, I am angry. I'm, unintentionally harming my stem cells. Maybe I should not do that. Our stem cells, they're like our mini workers. They are here to help us. They don't go on vacation, because think about it. If your heart's going on a vacation, you will be dead. So they don't get to take vacation. They don't get to take breaks. And a lot of times we don't realize that. We think, oh, we're born with this, like these body parts, and they're here to support us. And yeah, when you learn NLG method, we learn to appreciate our stem cells. We learn to love our stem cells. We learn to love our body. We understand that they're working hard to help us, to help us to go to school, to help us to go to work, to help us perform our daily function, our normal routine. So taking a couple minutes out of your busy day to truly give them love is not too much to ask. Another thing that I want to advise you when you learn energy method is commitment. When you commit to learn energy method, when you commit to send this energy to yourselves, to basically let them know that I appreciate you, I appreciate your hard work. This is the energy of love. When you do that, your cells will feel that too. And the way they feel it, it's varies, but the most common one that people often share with me is your entire spine feel warmth. It's how your stem cells communicate with you. When you feel your shoulder hurt, when you feel that you get sore in a certain area of your body, it's a way that your stem cells communicate. I need a break. I'm stressed out. Maybe you should take a break. Listen to your stem cells. Truly listen to your body and understand the true meaning behind energy method, behind the logos, behind these images, behind the principles. Truly learn how to operate, how to implement this method successfully. So that way you can receive the benefits. And always remember to practice energy method. You need to have love. You need to have morality. And you need to maintain the +1 - 1 frequency. It's how you can be able to connect with the energy. And the rest is just the technique and instruction and formula. Once you master the foundation, the rest will come easily. So make sure that you keep it in mind. And next, we're going to have the activation for level 2. The time of the activation will be 1 minute and 30 seconds. I'm going to display a quick clip for you to see of how you should receive this activation. This is the activation for level 2. So I advise all of you, those that finish level 3 or level 4 or higher levels, don't receive this activation, because if you receive this activation, you will be downgraded to level 2. Okay. And if you finish level 1 before, but you have not received all the activations for level 1, you cannot receive this activation as well. You can only receive this activation when you complete level 1 and receive all the activations for level 1 from Isabella last week, in order for you to receive this level 2 activation. And please keep that in mind. And for those of you in higher levels, you are welcome to stay here and listen, but please don't receive the activation, because you will be downgraded to level 2, and then you will have to retake the course again, and we don't want that. So give me a second to display the video clip, a very short clip of how you should receive the activation for level 2. So as you can see here, during the activation time, just focus, just visualizing you receive the energy from my forehead to your brain, and let it flow through your entire spine, pretty much like that. I will leave the video clips here for maybe another minute so you can see, and make sure that you find a comfortable spot to receive this activation, away from all the noise. Make sure that if you are out there getting water or coffee, please come back to receive this activation, so that way you can practice the formula after we graduate. So this is how you receive the activation. Okay. And the activation will be for 1 minute and 30 seconds. Okay, 1 minute and 30 seconds, just visualizing, receive the activation, the energy from my forehead to your brain and let it flow to your entire spine until the alarm rings. I will let you know when the alarm rings. So make sure that you focus. Okay, and I hope that everybody is back for the activation. And then 1 minute and 30 seconds. We will start now. Okay, so that was the activation of level 2. I hope that you received the activation for level 2 and you didn't miss it. If you miss it, then I would have to encourage you to attend the class again. Okay, now let me quickly share screen. We're going back to our lecture. Now this is the fun part. We're going to go over all the formulas for level 2, and then we're going to have a practice stem cell stimulation formula together in class before we wrap up. So make sure you pay attention. This is when we go inside, the technique and take a look at the technique and how we can practice, the technique successfully. Okay, the first formula that we have is the stem cell stimulation formula. So you see it here. The structure for the formula looks pretty much the same as the level 1, but the energy frequency will be different. Okay, the layout might be the same, but the information here and the frequency will be different compared to level 1. So please keep that in mind. Please pay attention so you don't practice the wrong formula. And this is how you know this is for level 2. Okay, you see there's 2 bars here. It shows that it means level 2. And we have right here in this corner, we have a note section. When practicing, keep your eyes open and direct energy accordingly. Remember earlier I talked about maintain self-awareness and how important it is to maintain self-awareness. Well, when you practice the energy method, part of it is to make sure that you maintain your awareness. You have to know what you're doing. You have to be in control of your body. If you practice the formula, but your mind is wandering somewhere else, and you know that you can't help it, then maybe you should wait to practice. But train your mind to not wandering around, to maintain the self-awareness during your practice, because when your mind wandering around, we can't stay focused. And you probably heard this before, but wandering mind is not a happy mind. So keep that in mind. And right here, in this corner, you have a duration. We have different age category. Like I said, anybody can learn NLG method. If you're 8 years old or older, you can learn NLG method. It's just the time to practice will be different. So right here, for 8 to 12 years old, the time to practice this formula is 2 minutes and 30 seconds. So children, if they learn NLG method, will be the time that they practice the stem cell simulation formula. And here, 13 to 18 years old, 3 minutes and 30 seconds. And above 18 years old, which is the majority of us, will be 5 minutes and 30 seconds. Pretty straightforward. So make sure that you go with this age range and practice correctly. Don't change the time. As we learned in level 1, why we have different time like this. Why we decide it's a 5 minutes and 30 seconds. Why Mr. Lee sticks with it and not 4 minutes and 30 seconds. There's the reason. And if you don't remember, please go back to level 1 class and review the videos, because we talk about it quite often in level 1 and throughout, during the time that you learn NLG as well. We do talk about this. So you have 4 steps. The first step is receive cosmic divine light, new era NLG level 2 frequency band, stem cell simulation frequency, recite silently once. The reason why we choose recite silently once is because when you say it out loud, a lot of people, they can say it out loud, but their mind tend to think about something else. So if we train our mind to actually focus on doing this, then our mind cannot wander around and we lose focus. So that is the reason why we said recite silently once. And step 2 is receive energy into the brain, receive the first time, receive the second time, and receive the third time. So each time that you receive the energy, it will take about 3 to 5 seconds. It doesn't have to be the exact 5 seconds or 3 seconds. It can be range between 3 to 5 seconds. You make the best judgment in this case, but this is the time that we recommend, a stick with between 3 to 5 seconds. And step 3 is send energy from the brain into the ERC. So if you look at the picture here, you see the brain here, right? And then there's the ERC, Energy Reception Center. We have the description right here. Send the energy from the brain into the ERC. Okay, send it the first time, send it the second time, and send it third time. Each time will be 3 to 5 seconds. So make sure that you remember that. And step 4, continuously direct the energy into the brain to the ERC and continue sending it down from the ERC down to the entire spine to the coccyx. So step 4 is basically continuously direct the energy from your brain to here and then sending it down to your entire spine, all the way to the coccyx. And continuously support the energy, maintain the warmth for the entire spine to stimulate stem cells until the alarm rings. So step 4 is basically continuously direct and maintain until the alarm rings. And we will have a chance to practice this formula in class before I let you go as well for 5 minutes and 30 seconds. So don't worry. We'll go back and we'll practice, and then I will play a little recording that Isabella did to help read the formula out loud for you so you can practice easily before you practice on your own. And the next formula is the self-healing formula. As you can see here, the name, self-healing formula. So make sure most of the formulas looks alike as far as the color and the font, but if you pay attention right here, you will know the differences between the formula name. So make sure you don't practice the wrong formula. So for the self-healing formula, we have the duration here as well. Make sure you pay attention for the duration as well. And most of us here are 18 or above. So stick with 5 minutes and 30 seconds. And if you are younger and you learn energy level 2, then you can stick with your age here. It's right here in this corner. And we have 4 steps for the self-healing formula. Receive cosmic divine light, new era, energy level 2 frequency band, self-healing frequency. Same thing, just like level 1, recite silently once. Don't say it out loud. We do not recommend that. Recite silently once in your head. And we have the little arrow here to show you how you receive the cosmic divine light, new era, right here into your brain. And when you practice this, regard any formulas that you practice, we recommend that you find an object to look at, to stare at. Find a spot where you're comfortable, and then find an object and look at that object, and visualize receiving the energy from that object. It helps if you are basically training your brain to focus. It helps. And once you get used to it, then we can talk about the technique once you get used to it in higher levels. And step 2 is receive energy into the brain. Same thing, like the other formula. Receive first time, receive second time, and receive third time, each time 3 to 5 seconds. And then you have step 3, send energy from the brain into the ERC. So you send it the first time, you send it the second time, and you send it third time. Send it from the brain to the ERC. Okay? And continuously direct energy. Step 4, continuously direct energy into the brain and continue transmit it into the ERC. So one thing that is different from stem cell simulation formula is for step 4, you continuously direct energy into the brain here and continue transmit into the ERC. Okay? And let the warmth of energy spread on its own. So for the stem cell simulation, you let the warmth going down to your spine all the way to the coccyx. But for self-healing formula, you let the warmth of energy spread it on its own until the alarm rings. So that is the difference. Make sure that you pay attention to that, so you know how to direct the energy for each formula when you practice. And the next formula is direct healing formula. So one exciting thing about finishing level 2 is you get more formulas compared to level 1 to be able to help others. And if you think about it, it's kind of aligned with the 5 forms of love, because the first level is you focus on how to love yourself properly. And level 2, you get to extend the help to your loved ones. So if you think about that, that's kind of aligned perfectly. And for this formula here, is the direct healing formula. And this is to provide direct healing formula to loved ones. Make sure that you read the instruction carefully, please, like the duration. When you provide direct healing to anybody, you have to look at their age, so that way you know how long you need to do this, to transmit the energy, and also their condition as well, which is the nose section right here. So level 2 practitioners, even though you are in a higher level compared to level 1, your energy, you're not ready just yet to support people with neurological diseases, people with brain diseases. You're not ready yet. Okay, especially if you have background illness, if you have condition yourself as well, because a lot of people told me that, oh, I have conditions like you know, cancer or something like that, severe conditions. You would want to focus on yourself first before you provide support healing to other people. And while performing this formula, the transmitter and the recipient keep their eyes open. Both of you need to keep your eyes open and maintain a state of mindfulness. You need to have self-awareness. You need to understand what you're doing, and the receiver needs to understand what you are doing, what he or she is doing. You guys have to be aware and be in control of your body during this formula. And the recipient visualize the ailing areas, the areas where they hurt. Let's say they're hurting their arm or they're hurting their shoulder. They can visualize that area, the energy going to that area. Now, if they have too many areas like that hurting, right? If there are too many areas, then what they can do is they can just focus on the ERC and the entire spine. They don't have to think, oh, shoulder here, arm here, leg here. They don't have to do that. They can just focus on the ERC, the energy reception center, and the entire spine. Just focus on receiving the energy there. And before supporting other patients with serious illness, it's important. The transmitter must feel warmed for 5 minutes and 30 seconds during practice of the stem cell stimulation formula. You have to practice the stem cell stimulation formula on yourself first for 3 days, and you have to feel warm before you provide healing support to anybody, because you have to be able to practice the technique successfully before you help others. If you're still struggling with practicing this technique, then I would recommend you practice correctly first before you help others, before you support others. And with this is the direct healing formula, okay? This is not an indirect healing formula. So make sure you keep that in mind, and you support 1 time a day per person. This is not the formula to provide mass healing. To provide mass healing support. Okay, this is just direct healing for 1 person only. So make sure that you pay attention. And for those with severe conditions, you may support twice a day and 6 hours apart. So make sure that you know how to divide the time and plan your time accordingly. 6 hours apart when you provide direct healing formula to another person. And another thing too is, if let's say that patient has a severe condition, then what you can do is, because level 2, you might not be ready to support patients with severe condition. What you can do is you can reach out to us for help. We have different healing groups that can definitely support you with this. So yeah, that's another option. If you later, I will send you a QR code. I will show you the QR code to actually join the group, and you can join the group, and you can receive not only notification information, but you will know which support group that you can attend, you can join, so you can receive additional support healing as well. And we have 4 steps. Step 1 is receive Cosmic Divine Light New Era Energy Level 2 frequency band, direct healing frequency. Recite silently once, pretty straightforward. Step 2 is receive energy into the brain of the transmitter. Same thing, receive first time, second time, and receive third time. Each 3 to 5 seconds each time. And step 3 is send the energy from the brain of the transmitter into the recipient ERC. So if you look at the picture here, this is how you will place your hand. Okay, this is their ERC. This is how you will place your hand. basically on the recipient ERC. Please do not be creative. Don't put hands in, different areas unless Mr. Lee advised you to do so, okay? Special cases. But for direct healing formula, the way that we place our hand on the recipient ERC is this way. So don't be creative and don't do it unless Mr. Lee advised otherwise. So pay attention to the instruction, because a lot of people, they get really creative. And let me tell you, that's not how you follow instruction. And step 4 is the transmitter continuously transmit the energy from the brain of the transmitter into the recipient ERC. And step 4 is basically continuously transmit the energy from the brain into the transmitter, the brain of the transmitter into the recipient ERC. So maintain this energy and let the warmth of the energy spread on its own until the alarm rings. Pretty straightforward. Read the instruction before you do it, please. And if you have trouble of remembering the formula, what you can do is you can ask another person to help you read the formula, and you do it on the patient. Okay, don't have the receiver read the formula. Have somebody else that doesn't participate in that part of it read the formula, and you do it, so that way you follow it correctly. And once you get used to it, you can do it on your own just fine. And the next formula is indirect healing formula. Not everyone get to be able to do the direct healing formula. So this is another way to help us provide indirect healing formula. Of course, indirect healing formula might be different. Like the effectiveness will be different compared to direct healing formula. But if the transmitter and receiver maintain the same state of mindfulness, and do it consistently, then a lot of people do receive benefits, see improvements as well. So just to keep that in mind. And for the indirect healing formula, you see the duration here. Same thing, we have duration for each age. So make sure that you read it carefully. So if you know the patient is between age 8 to 12 years old, the time that you provide indirect healing for that person will be 2 minutes and 30 seconds. And if, let's say, the person that you support is above 18 years old, the time will be 5 minutes and 30 seconds. So make sure that you read it carefully, so you don't mess it up. And these are the 3 options that you can provide indirect healing to the person. Option 1 is you can do it through phones, without a front camera, with or without a front camera, FaceTime, Messenger. There are a lot of apps out there that you can be able to do that. And option 2 is you can arrange the time. Let's say that person don't have access to smartphones. You can arrange a time and say, hey, at 2 p.m., for example, I'm going to send you the indirect healing energy. And at that time, let's say 2 p.m., that person will focus on receiving the energy. And then at 2 p.m., you transmit the energy to that person. This way, this option 2 here is less popular, but still there are a lot of people do it in case of emergency where there's no Wi-Fi or something like that. You can still do it. And option 3 is through pictures. Let's say the person refuse to receive the energy through phones, through FaceTime. What you can do it, you can transmit the indirect healing energy to them through pictures. It works well as well. But it might be less effective, but it still works. The key is maintain the consistency, and don't give up, of course. And step 4, so let me go over the step. Actually, let's go over the note first. So right here with the note section, again, Level 2 participants are not yet ready to support patients with neurological diseases. So if you you know your patient has brain diseases and all that stuff, you might want to ask somebody in higher level to support you, to help you, just because you're not ready yet. Um, if, let's say you have conditions or something, we want to be mindful about that. And when perform healing on another person, both transmitter and recipient need to maintain a state of mindfulness. Same thing as direct healing. When you provide healing on another person, both of you have to be in a state of mindfulness. Self-awareness is extremely important. You need to know what you're doing, and the other person need to know what they have to do. And the transmitter close their eyes. So this is a little bit different. Okay, so when you provide indirect healing to another person through phones, FaceTime, you close your eyes and the receiver open their eyes. They keep their eyes open and they focus. They look at your forehead. It's like earlier when I provide the healing transmission for you, I close my eyes and you guys keep your eyes open. It's like that. And the receiver visualize receiving the energy to the ailing areas. If there are many, then just visualize the energy to the ERC, the entire spine, instead of going to each area one by one. They can just focus receiving the energy to the ERC and the entire spine. And before supporting another person with serious illness, you must practice the stem cell stimulation formula. You must practice yourself first, and feel the warmth before you help others. If you don't, then you might not be ready to help others yet. So make sure you practice on yourself first. Practice successfully first and maintain that consistency. Don't just practice for 3 days, feel warm, and then stop practicing. It doesn't work like that. And indirect healing is done one-on-one. So you do not have the capability to provide mass healing support yet. It's one-on-one for now. So make sure you keep that in mind, not one-on-two. And support one time per day per person. So make sure that you keep that in mind. And for those with severe condition, you can support twice a day and 6 hours apart, pretty much the same rule as the direct healing formula. So make sure you read the note carefully. And you have 4 steps. So step 1, pretty much like every other one, except the frequency band will be different. So receive cosmic divine light, new era, energy level 2 frequency band, indirect healing frequency into the transmitter brain. So this is when you receive the cosmic divine light, new era, energy into your brain, and recite silently once. Don't read this step out loud, okay? And step 2 is receive energy into the brain of the transmitter. Receive first time, receive second time, receive third time. Each time 3 to 5 seconds, as you can see here. And step 3 is send the energy from the brain of the transmitter into the recipient ERC. So imagine you're FaceTiming the patient here. You close your eyes and you send the energy from your brain into the recipient ERC. And you send it first time, you send it second time, and you send it third time, each time 3 to 5 seconds. When you close your eyes, just visualize the patient's ERC and just transmit the energy to there. And step 4, the transmitter continuously transmit the energy from the brain of the transmitter into the recipient ERC, continuously maintain this flow of energy during step 4, and let the warmth of energy spread on its own until the alarm rings. So step 4 is basically maintaining the flow of energy. The receiver will keep their eyes open the entire time. until the alarm rings. So that's pretty much the instruction. Even though we go through in class, make sure you read it carefully. And if you have any questions, just please don't hesitate to reach out. And we're happy to answer your questions as well. And let's go on to the next formula. So the next formula is encouraging family formula. This formula is a bonus for level 2 and up. The duration is 5 minutes and 30 seconds, one time a day per person. And please read the note section here that this is only for family members on both sides of the family, with those and those with close and direct relationship with you. So like your parents-in-laws, your co-workers, mainly your loved ones, okay? And it is possible to encourage many people in one session if transmitting a common message. Let's say you have 2 kids and you have the same common message to those 2 kids. You want them to stop playing video games. For example, you can send the encouraged message to those 2 kids using at the same time. If you have a same message. Now, if you have different message, and you want to encourage different people, then you can do that, but it will have to be separately. And if the encouraging message is long, it can be written down and repeated over a period of days. So if the message is long, make sure you draft it and read it until you remember it, and then keep practicing it. And when performing this formula, you can open or close your eyes as your recipient is not sitting in front of you. So with this formula only, you can close your eyes or open your eyes. It's not required, but make sure you maintain your self-awareness when you practice. And the message example could be something that within moral qualities, love, concern, fairness. You cannot encourage people to give you more money. It doesn't work like that. The message will have to be within the moralities and 5 forms of love boundary. Okay, you cannot encourage people to do bad things. That's not the way it works. And can only be effective if the transmitter has achieved the 5 minutes and 30 seconds of warmness during the stem cell stimulation practice. So most of the formulas that you are going to see next, in order to practice those formulas, you would have to practice the stem cell stimulation formula successfully yourself first before you practice those formula. If you don't, then take time and practice before you do other formulas. And you can see here there are 4 steps. First one is receive cosmic divine light, new era, energy level 2 frequency band, encouraging family frequency. Recite silently once. Step 2 is receive energy into the brain of the transmitter. Receive first time, receive second time, and receive third time. Pretty much the same thing. Each time 3 to 5 seconds. Number 3 is send the energy from the brain of the transmitter into the recipient's brain. So visualizing you transmit the energy from your brain to the receiver brain. And you send it first time, you send it second time, and you send it third time. Each time 3 to 5 seconds. Okay, and then step 4, this is when you send the encouraging message to the recipient's brain, and keep transmitting the messages continuously over and over again until the alarms ring. So whatever you want to say, I want you to stop playing video game, I want you to focus on your school, I want you to love your family, love yourself. Those are the example of the messages that you can drag. And the messages has to be fair as well. So keep that in mind, and take some time to think about the actual message, what you really want before drafting it, and give it time. Give yourself time to practice and see the benefits of that. And the next formula is hand positions for deafness patients. So this is how you would provide support healing for patients with deafness. And you see here our lovely Mr. Lee. This is how he places his hand on the patients. The steps are similar to direct healing formula, because remember the direct healing formula, you place the hand on the person's ERC. With patients that have deafness condition, this is how you would place your hand, but you would follow the step 1 to step 4 based on the direct healing formula. Okay, so make sure you read that carefully. And while performing, the transmitter visualize sending the energy to the ears and the brain and the entire spine of the patient. So while you're doing this, visualize sending the energy to the ear, the brain, and the entire spine of the patient. And right here, we have another instruction as well. Put 2 hands on both ears, fingers on earlobes. So it's pretty clear here with the image. And then we have these zoom in pictures here. This is how you would place your hand, on the person's ear. And here we have the duration of time to provide this direct healing formula for deaf patients. So make sure you read that carefully before you perform the steps, okay? And we have another instruction, the hand positions instructions for patients with vision impairments and eye-related conditions. Pretty much the steps are similar to direct healing formula, but while performing this, the transmitter visualizes transmitting the energy to the eyes, brain, and the entire spine of the recipient. So with the deaf patients, you place the hand differently, and with the patients with eyes related conditions, you place both hands on the side of the person's temple, which is right here. This is the side look. And the middle fingers on the end of the eyebrows of the receiver. So right here, the middle fingers right here, it's on the end of the eyebrows of the patient. And this is the front look of this. Okay. So make sure you look at the picture and practice, before you actually do this formula on somebody, and read the duration as well. So make sure that you don't provide direct healing wrong time. If let's say the patient is between 2 to 7 years old, the time will be 2 minutes. So read and follow instruction carefully. Okay. And this is another formula, hand positions for patients with all conditions with nervous system of the brain. And this is how you would place your hand. The steps are similar to direct healing formula. While performing, the transmitter visualize sending the energy to the brain and the entire spine. And the transmitter should be flexible in how the hands are placed, depending on the receiver's condition. So these are basically 2 different options. I think so right at the beginning, right here on the note section at the beginning, you place 2 hands on either side of the brain. So like this at the beginning, this is the beginning, right? And sending the energy to the receiver brain. This is, kind of the back of the picture here. And after 2 weeks or 1 month, you switch the hand position to here. Okay. After 2 weeks or 1 month, you put one hand on the brain and the other hand on the ERC like this. Okay, so make sure you read this. It's extremely important for patients with conditions related to nervous system of the brain. Make sure you read this and you read the duration. So at the beginning, you need to place your hand like this. And after 2 weeks or 1 month, you place your hand like this. So make sure all the formulas that provide direct healing to patients with different conditions are extremely important. So you need to practice the stem cell stimulation formula for yourself first before you before you provide support healing to patients. That way, you won't get harmed and the other person won't get harmed either. So make sure you keep that in mind. And we now it's time for us to practice the stem cell stimulation formula together. And then the time will be for 5 minutes and 30 seconds. And after that, we will wrap up level 2, and then I will let you go and start practicing the formula on your own. Okay, so give me a second and I will pull up the formula for stem cell stimulation, and we can practice in class together so you can kind of get a hang of it. Okay, so what you see here is the stem cell stimulation formula. Stem cell stimulation formula, and we're going to practice this formula in class for 5 minutes and 30 seconds. I will play a recording so you can hear Isabella reading the instruction one by one, and we will practice together, and then we will wrap up, and you're free to go. So give me a second, and then we will start soon. Okay, we will start now.
This is practice session. To receive Cosmic Divine Light New Era NOG Level 2 frequency band, stem cell stimulation frequency. The timer will be set to 5 minutes and 30 seconds. Let's begin. Step 1. Recite silently once. Receive Cosmic Divine Light New Era NOG Level 2 frequency band, stem cell stimulation frequency. Step 2. Receive energy into the brain. Receive first time. Receive second time. Receive third time. Step 3. Send energy from the brain into the ERC. Send first time. Send second time. Send third time. Step 4. Continuously direct energy into the brain to the ERC and continue sending it from the ERC down the entire spine to the coccyx. Continuously support the energy, maintain the warmth for the entire spine to stimulate stem cells until alarm rings.
Right. So that was the practice session of level 2 stem cell stimulation formula. And now let's get back to the rest of the content for today's class, and then I will let you go shortly. Okay. So just to wrap up, a few notes that today we have received the activation for level 2, and we have practiced the 2 formulas. We need to remember to practice the 2 formulas daily, which is the stem cell stimulation formula and the self-healing formula every day. And you can practice continuously or 1 or 2 hours apart, as long as you maintain your self-awareness. And only level 2 students have graduated from level 1 and received the activation from level 2 can practice these formulas, okay? So if you have not graduated from level 1, you do not receive the level 2 activation, or if you have not received the activation for level 2, then clearly you cannot practice these formulas. So keep that in mind. The remaining formulas like healing, encouraging family can be used in case to help others as needed. Once you practice on yourself first and you receive great results, then you can start helping others as well. And practice requires full concentration for 5 minutes and 30 seconds. If you are distracted for more than 30 seconds, don't count that practice. Reset the timer and start again. If you know that your mind wandering around for more than 30 seconds, then it might be a good time to start again. You want to give your stem cells love for a full 5 minutes and 30 seconds. And choose a quiet place to practice. Keep your eyes open. You can blink. Just keep your eyes open and choose a focus point and object. Like I shared earlier, find an object to focus on and practice the formula. And avoid using fan or air conditioner blowing directly on your body because you will not be able to feel warmth. You won't be able to feel, it's hard to feel warm if you have air blowing directly to your body. And students need to practice the formulas accurately every day, keeping good moral values, the 5 forms of love, and always maintain the +1 -1 frequency. You will hear that over and over again. So, maintain +1 -1 frequency and practice every day consistently and correctly in order for you to receive the results. And a few recommendation is you can practice. It's best to practice in the morning before you start your chores or before you start your work. Alternatively, you can choose the time that you're not busy. A lot of people work night, so it might be hard for them. We understand that. We are flexible, but make sure that you still find the best time that works for you. And please ensure that at that time when you practice, ensure that your mind at peace and emotions checked. Okay. Remind yourself, okay, I'm about to practice this formula now. I'm about to practice the method. Let go of all the negativity and all of that, and put all your problems, anxiety, and worries aside before practicing. Express your gratitude if possible. Remember, I said our stem cells are like our mini workers. They don't get to take vacation. So when you practice, show your gratitude. Be thankful for them. Thank you for helping me, for performing, for doing your job for that long, and help me to go to school, to go to work, to take care of family, stuff like that. And I'm sending you this energy here as an example. And find your inner peace and maintain +1 -1 frequency. Super important. And give yourself that 5 minutes and 30 seconds to recharge yourselves when you need the most. Recharge yourself. Okay, your mind and your body with energy. Think about self-love. Love yourself. Okay, if you don't love yourself, then you cannot expect anybody to love you. Self-love is important, right? You have to start with self-love first. And relax your body, open your heart and mind, to receive this energy. Have an open mind. If you cannot focus for more than 30 seconds, then start again. Pretty much, this is the very simple rule to help you. And again, do not sit in front of the AC or fan. Might be difficult for you to feel anything, especially you're new to this, you haven't figured out. You're still working on directing the energy. So might be a good idea to, not sit in front of a fan or AC to basically help you feel the warmth. And to help you practice better with your eyes open, try to focus on a non-moving object or a wall. If you focus on things that are moving, you might get distracted. And a few items could be like a vase, an apple, or even an outlet, whatever works for you. Um, and then apply the 5 forms of love and practice every day. Make sure you practice every day. Stem cell stimulation, and self-healing, and they can be practiced consecutively. Earlier, we shared that with you, and I will send the formula to the group, NOD level 1 and level 2 group on Telegram, and this is how you can join the group. As right here, you have the stem cell stimulation formula and self-healing formula. We have the instruction here, practice 5 minutes and 30 seconds a day. If you feel tired and have yet feel warm at the spine, you can practice one more time. You will have all these instructions with you when I send this to the group, and practice the stem cell simulation anytime, preferably before self-healing in the morning. And the last practice should be done 6 hours before bedtime. If you practice the stem cell stimulation like maybe 1 or 2 hours before bedtime, you might have a lot of energy and you might not be able to fall asleep. So make sure that you keep that in mind. Read instruction, okay? And then self-healing formula. Also ensure that practice at least 6 hours interval between self-healing sessions. So if you want to practice this formula twice a day, make sure you have the 6 hours apart. Okay, don't just practice the self-healing formula and then practice it again in 30 minutes. It doesn't work like that. You have to give it 6 hours apart. And here, this is how you join our Telegram group to receive information, to receive news about energy classes, and to receive the formula as well and next schedule. If you, let's say, miss the activation for level 2, you can check for our schedule here. We pretty active on here. So we will try to, post the agenda, post the schedule when we have it. And another thing is, you can ask your questions too, because when you join, you will see there are a lot of people in there and people might have the same questions. So don't be shy. Just drop your questions in Telegram. And if you have any questions about practice, if you're not sure, just please put, your questions, your feedback in there. We'd love to hear it. And we want to improve ourselves, right? We want to improve our teaching, whatever help you. Let us know and we will take it to Ms. Lee, for consideration. And and I will leave it here for maybe like another minute so you can scan and join Telegram group. If you don't have Telegram, you might want to download it. It's free unless you need other features, but you can join. We have the group for notification here for you to receive the notifications such as live stream, daily live stream from Mr. Lee. Mr. Lee is currently pausing his daily live stream right now. So we post that on there. So please take a look at it. And and here, this is the chat group for level 1 and level 2. And this is the channel group in which you can receive the formula. That's pretty much it for today. Thank you so much. I know we way over time and I apologize for that, but we have a lot of content and I don't want to miss anything. I hope that this session is informative for you. And I hope that you will continue to love yourself. You will continue to practice energy method. And when you receive a lot of benefits and improvements like I did, you will decide to join, attend higher classes. And I hope to see you there one day. Thank you so much for watching this. If you have any feedback, anything that we can do to improve our teaching, please don't be hesitate to let us know. We're happy to hear it. Take care, love yourself, maintain +1 - 1, and I will see you soon. Goodbye.